Earth's mightiest heroes hit shelves this week in a brand new brawler-style game in the form of Marvel's Avengers. After the success of Spider-Man on PS4, I for one had high hopes that this would be the next great game in the genre. But how did this game hold up, and what did it boil down to? Let's talk about it today, in this episode of whatever this series is. Spoilers for Marvel's Avengers. By the way, I'm in a new apartment. You like it? Me too. No good place to film yet, so this is gonna be a lot of just me kind of talking. Those are always entertaining. So, where to begin with this game? I pre-ordered this game a while back, and when I got it, I basically sat down and played through the entire 12-hour experience in 2 days. I sat down on my couch with my blanket wrapped around me like a belligerent warlord of the comfy kingdom, and tucked in. Let me just start by saying, I really enjoyed this game. But did anyone else think it felt a little off? You know, it felt kind of off to me. I don't know. It just kind of felt off. But I have a couple of reasons why. And now I guess I gotta back it up. But let's get into it. I'm gonna explain these things in a list, not a numbered list. Numbered lists are for narcs. Let's start with some positives. I don't want to yuck anyone's yums right off the bat. This game has a pretty great story. It's a very comprehensive Avengers adventure. There's some fun alliteration for you. It's also kind of hard to say. Avengers adventure, Avengers adventure, Avengers adventure. Anyway. We start with this really interesting character of Kamala Khan, later Miss Marvel, and her experiences on A-Day and the aftermath. We watch the fall of the Avengers and how Kamala still has hope 5 years after the fact that the Avengers will return and defeat AIM. We start fairly early on with her, leaving everything behind that she knows to rally the Resistance and the Avengers, and she's just this very hopeful kid who has a really awesome character arc. Plus, she's a superhero nerd, so relatable. When we finally get to the Avengers and rallying them as a group, it's actually pretty cool to play as all of these heroes. Literally, one of the things I've dreamed about was flying around in the Iron Man suit, dodging bullets while Iron Maiden blares in my ears. And this game gives us that on more than one occasion, but it still has some issues, and I think I've pinpointed some of the main ones. The game quickly introduces this idea of strike teams, which works because you're able to request CPUs to play with you as the other Avengers that you're not playing as, but in reality, you're supposed to have other people online to play with. Listen, game, stop suggesting matchmaking. Do you really think someone who plays Overwatch with his mic off is the kind of guy that wants his Avengers experience tarnished by screaming 10-year-olds? Starting to realize that the multiplayer might not be such a big issue for me if I had any friends. Anyway, I also have a lot of issues with the fact that so many other games in this genre just do so many things better. There are about 6 enemies in this game, 6 different kinds, and most of them are robots. It gets a little old taking out the 12th turret robot in the span of an hour. The characters themselves are neat to start with, like I said before. Learning their combat systems are entertaining at first, but they don't really develop. Their skill trees don't actually add anything to the character, and if I'm going to invest all these skill points into various abilities, I'd like to actually get something out of it. But the way that this game plays, I don't get nearly enough skill points into it, invest into things that I actually care about, and I end up just spamming the heavy attack button constantly. The waves of combat and the encounters are just kind of lacking. Also, let's talk about those characters. Throughout the game, you're able to play as Miss Marvel, the Hulk, Iron Man, Black Widow, Thor, and Captain America. Each of them also has an individual campaign that you can play through in addition to the Assemble campaign. but in terms of main campaign, the distribution of time spent with each of them is fairly uneven. Yes, I'm aware that in some missions you can choose who you want to play as. Don't bother leaving that in the comments. But in playing pretty much the whole campaign the whole way through, some of my other heroes weren't even on level with the other ones. Hulk was 10 levels below Iron Man at some points. Maybe I just played too much Iron Man. I will say though, this could also all just be because I played the game wrong. I'm sure someone will tell me in the comments if I did. But, you know, I almost would have preferred that we just kind of stuck with Kamala the whole time and watched her really come into her own as an Avenger. I did really like playing as Iron Man though. That was cool. Cause you're just like flying around and you're like, pew, pew, pew. I should probably just leave it to Robert Downey Jr. It's probably the smart decision. But the last thing I wanted to talk about is the fact that we will be getting more heroes and missions in the form of DLC. Already on the list are Clint Barton, Kate Bishop, and Spider-Man on the PS4. Some theories about upcoming characters include Black Panther, Doctor Strange, Captain Marvel, Ant-Man, Falcon, Winter Soldier, and Scarlet Witch, among many others. Hopefully we can also get some updates with the game so it feels a little more put together. Honestly, if I had to see one character added to this roster, it wouldn't be Deadpool. No. It would be Moon Knight. Moon Knight is rad as hell. There's this one Moon Knight comic, and I should be researching this before I talk about it, but it's just a single panel from a Moon Knight comic where he's like, "Where's my fucking money, Dracula, you giant fucking nerd?" I'll put it up on the screen or something, I don't know. Overall, I really did enjoy this game, and, you know, all of the different experiences that came with it. I'm not done with all of the side missions either. I say that I played through the entire game. I played through the main campaign, and some of the side campaigns as well, but there's still a lot more that I need to explore. I really hope that a lot of these issues get fixed in the future. I realize that some of them, they're ingrained in the main game. It's going to be a hard thing to walk back for the studio, but maybe with enough significant updates and more cool DLCs coming out, this could potentially be a really awesome game, and I really hope that we get to that point. Let me know down in the comments, what do you think of Marvel's Avengers? Have you played it yet? Are you gonna play it? Did you pre-order it like me? Just sit for 2 days and play through the entire game? Oh man, that may have been a mistake. Also, hey, while you're at it, why not subscribe? We post a lot of cool stuff on this channel, as well as our podcast feed, which is the Twisted Mug Media Network. We have so many cool shows on there, and you know, whatever you're into, there's probably something for you. We've got shows like the Cinema Talk podcast, which is our flagship show, our long-form movie review podcast, Stop, Wait, What, which is our improv comedy podcast, Back in Style, our newcomer-friendly episodic review of Twin Peaks, Twisted Mug Mysteries, your one-stop shop for everything spooky and occult, Octo Island, which is our Star Wars series podcast. We're currently reviewing the Clone Wars on there. And I Might Play That, which is our brand new video game review podcast. So hey, you like video games, give it a listen. I think the last one we did was on Animal Crossing, but there will be some new content on there coming out in the future, and definitely something worth checking out. Also, you can follow us on Instagram and Twitter at Twisted Mug Media. We post a lot of stuff there and updates for new stuff coming out on the channel. Pretty good time. But for real though, thank you guys so much for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one. There's no sign off for these videos. I say something at the end of I Might Play That. See you later, gamers. Nah, that's not a mistake. Bye.